The character Fundy from the Dream SMP has one of the most interesting storylines to follow on the server, but the character's recent lore, specifically the lore surrounding his sleep issues, have led me to wonder if it ties into something bigger. With all of the death elements being added to the SMP as well as the idea of revival, Fundy's nightmares might have a thorough explanation. His soul is shared with L'Manberg. Or, more specifically, Fundy's soul and the soul of L'Manberg are one and the same. Before we dive in, make sure to leave a like on this video and subscribe for more videos like this. It's that little red button in the corner, so just go press it. Thanks. Fundy's birthright. Fundy is the only canonical character to have been born in L'Manberg. Though he fought for the country's independence according to Wilbur, his canonical father, he was in fact born within the walls of L'Manberg. This makes him the only natural-born citizen of any of the members of L'Manberg. In addition, Fundy's uniform is the only one having different colors to that of the original members, which could potentially signify a closer connection to the country than the rest of the members. Fundy's uniform is a lighter pastel version of the original L'Manberg uniform, and the only other eventual member to have a different L'Manberg skin was Nikki Nihachu. But she was not one of the original 5 founding members, rather she joined later on, and this could be why after the final destruction of L'Manberg, Fundy trusted Nikki enough to create a city with her called Dry Waters, though that project was eventually abandoned after they couldn't remember where the city was located. Trolling on the server. Though it later became a place of escape from the rules of the SMP, L'Manberg was originally started as a troll or scam for other members on the server. The idea was to have everyone hand over their brewing stands and potion ingredients, claiming they were defective and needed to be fixed. In reality, the members were attempting to create a monopoly on brewing stands to be used as a source of power on the server. Though originally just made out to be a seemingly harmless prank, the resulting conflict led to the declaration of independence for L'Manberg and the following war for independence. Similarly, Fundy's character has been known to troll people with pranks on the server, oftentimes escalating the conflict into full-out war. It was, after all, Fundy's convincing of Nikki to kill a pet of Sapnap's, as well as his forcing puns into playing the bee game, which directly led to the pet war. In addition, he teamed up with Tommy and Wilbur to help alongside the L'Manberg War for Independence, and was in fact the third person after Wilbur and Tommy to join the drug van scam, though he initially didn't know of the scam itself. Death on the SMP. Within the Dream SMP, there exists a canon life system for each member. In a typical Minecraft server, when a player dies, they can simply respawn and continue playing. This is true for the Dream SMP, however, because there is an added storytelling element, a canon life system was implemented to add weight to the story. So, if a player on the SMP dies while randomly fighting a zombie, they can respawn and keep playing without it having an impact on the story as a whole. However, if a death is included in a lore stream or has a serious impact within the storyline, then the character is considered to have lost one of their 3 canon lives within the server. Once a player has lost all 3 canon lives, they are considered permanently dead and cannot respawn as their character. Fundy has only lost 1 canon life on the SMP. This life was lost during the L'Manberg Revolution, meaning he has only ever given his life for the country of L'Manberg. Coincidentally, L'Manberg has been canonically blown up 3 separate times. Since its final destruction, commonly referred to as Doomsday, members have not returned to the country to rebuild as they had after previous destructions. If L'Manberg were considered a member of the SMP, it would effectively be dead. Since the final destruction of L'Manberg, Fundy has seemed to feel lost, attempting to find a new sense of home to replace the one that got destroyed, none of which were successful. He tried to start the city of Dry Waters with Nikki, which failed. Additionally, he attempted to become adopted by Eret after Wilbur lost his final canon life, but that too never came to fruition. Fundy has felt lost since his home was destroyed, but Maybe there's more to it than just the loss of the place he once called home. Fundies Limbo. After Doomsday, Fundy began having nightmares in which he was in a desert landscape surrounded by the ruins of L'Manberg, specifically the Kamar van, the original drug van in the country. The first time he experienced this nightmare, he read books continuously telling him to wake up and be careful. Now this could just be a bout of nightmares resulting from the trauma he's experienced, or it could be something more. My theory is that Fundy, being the only true born citizen of L'Manberg, actually shares a part of his soul with the country itself. Furthermore, when Fundy travels to this desert ruin, he is actually taking a glimpse into his version of Limbo. Within the Dream SMP, each member has a specific limbo for their character that they will go to once they have their final canon death. For example, Wilbur's, and now Ghostbur's limbo is an empty train station, and Tommy's limbo is a black void. The only way we know what each character's limbo is for them to have their final death. But in Fundy's case, according to this theory, half of his soul, or L'Manberg's half, has had its final canon death, but Fundy's half of this shared soul is still fully alive. So from a storytelling perspective, what is a great way to depict that without it being obvious? Simple. To have Fundy's soul enter his limbo when he's asleep. Therefore, Fundy's half of the soul exists when he's awake, and L'Manberg's half takes over when he goes to sleep. In addition, time moves faster in Limbo than it does in the real world, as explained by both Tommy and Wilbur, claiming to have spent a much longer amount of time than had actually passed. This being the case, one could potentially time travel by using their specific limbo, or see into the future or glimpse into the past. This would explain Fundy being able to see Quackity in his dreams over and over before he actually showed up at his house to invite him to Las Nevadas. L'Manberg was warning Fundy, or giving him a heads up on what is going to happen in the future. Fundy and L'Manberg are the same. They are two halves of a whole being. In summary, Fundy shares his soul with L'Manberg. If this is actually true, it will be very interesting to see how Fundy the content creator writes the next bits of his lore for Fundy the character. Will he continue with the Nightmare plotline, or will he move away from it due to his joining of Las Nevadas? Only time will tell, but in the meantime, it's always fun to theorize what is going on with his lore. Thanks for watching.